Hi, my name is Alusen Barry and welcome to this first section of the English language for WASSCE. The first section here deals with words opposite in meaning. You can say antonyms. We have to do this under 10 minutes, so let's get right into it. So the instruction says, in each of the following sentences, there is a word underlined and one gap. Okay, so there is a word that has been underlined like here and a gap. From the list of the words lettered A to D, A, B, C, and D, choose the word that is most nearly, not exactly, most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word and that will at the same time correctly fill the gap in the sentence. So we are looking for two things. One, the correct answer should be the most nearly opposite, right? The most nearly opposite based on the context. Remember, context is very important in this sort of the way the word has been used in the sentence is important. Okay, and also it has to correctly fill this gap, right? So the tense, the number, what part of speech we have to consider all of those things. So the first, and my advice to you here is please these words, whether those in the options or the words that have been underlined, get used to using these words in your speaking, in your writing. Write an essay using these words you see in these objective questions. That will really help you. Okay. Now, the first sentence says, though my mother was convinced about the success of the business, her manager remained dash something else. Okay, so though my mother was convinced, the word convinced has been underlined, about the success of something, the business, her manager remained the opposite. If you are not convinced, you are what? A, concerned. My strategy with these objectives in general is to eliminate those that do not seem to have anything to do with the answer. Then you can decide with the other two. Normally, that's you see this in all of the questions. Two of the options will have nothing to do with the answer. So once you identify those, get rid of them and then focus on those two that have to do with the answer. Okay? So though my mother was convinced about the success of the business, her manager remained A, concerned. Right? Well, when someone is concerned, they may be troubled or worried about something. This may not be our answer, but let's just not dot that and leave it. But the word confused, are we talking about being confused here? No. Right? So let's just get rid of that. Confused. C, serious. Are we talking about someone being serious or unserious? No. So we can get rid of the word serious. D, skeptical. This also may have something to do. Right? So let's just blue that. So now we have to decide between these two. What I'll do, I'll use them in the sentence and see which one makes most sense. Okay? Though my mother was convinced about the success of the business, her manager remained concerned. Okay. A manager, since we are talking about success, may be concerned, right? But now, the mother has been said to be convinced. And the word skeptical here, the opposite of the word skeptical is basically, skeptical means unconvinced. Okay? So you are either convinced or unconvinced. And the word skeptical means unconvinced about the truth of a particular theory, an explanation, or something. So the answer D is the correct one here. The person chose confused. This was wrong. Okay? The second question, 2, says judgment should always be in favor of the innocent and not the dash. The word innocent has been underlined. Right? So we are looking for the word amongst the list of words elderly, weak, accused, and guilty, which is most. Okay, so the word, so we have, of course, let's get rid of elderly because we are not talking about age here. We are talking about being innocent. Weak, we are not talking about strong strength or weakness. Okay, we are talking about innocence. So accused and guilty have something to do. This is the strategy you have to use. Okay, so we say, well, here an accused person is not really guilty or not guilty. It's neither innocent nor guilty. Right? This person, maybe they just call you for a crime. It doesn't mean you are already guilty. If you are accused of a crime, you have to go to the police. Evidence has to be considered and everything else. Okay. So this is not our answer. So D again is our answer. The person got this correctly. Okay, so we choose the option D. Judgment should always be in favor of the innocent and not the guilty. Right? 3, we say Laye is quite reliable, but his sister is the opposite, the most nearly opposite here. Okay, we have the words pretentious, deceptive, untrustworthy, unswerving. Now, let's get rid of a few words here. Pretentious means someone who is full of themselves. So this is clearly not it, because we are not talking about someone who is full of themselves, someone who thinks they are more superior to other people. Okay, we are talking about being reliable. Deceptive, someone who can deceive you. This may have something to do. Okay, so let's blow this. And then untrustworthy, this may have something to do also. Unswerving, someone something bending. This doesn't have to do much. These three options, well, this one I can get rid of evidently. Okay, so the words deceptive and untrustworthy now remain in my mind. Okay, but now someone who is deceptive is just someone who can trick you, right? Although someone who is unreliable may deceive you, but the word untrustworthy here um, simply means someone whose you cannot confidently rely on them. You cannot rely on them. Okay, so untrustworthy here is our answer. Okay, C. C is our answer, untrustworthy. And then we have 4, the gullible and not the dash, the opposite of gullible, usually fall prey to tricksters. Well, who is a trickster? Someone who tricks you. Okay? When you go to Freetown, those thieves, they try to trick you. And they can easily trick the gullible. Okay? Someone who is gullible is just someone who is easily convinced. Right? What is the opposite? The word most opposite in meaning to the word gullible? If you are not gullible, does that mean you're unfriendly? Completely not. So we get rid of unfriendly. Discerning, it may have to do. It's actually an answer. Someone who is discerning can see at the bottom of something. They can see clearly. Okay? So the moment you try to lie to them, you cannot trick them because they can see clearly. So it's actually our answer. Let me don't waste time because we have to get finished in 10 minutes. Carefree, someone who is carefree, doesn't care about something. We can call them laissez-faire. Let's just get rid of that. Brave, we are not talking about bravery here. So B, discerning, is our answer. Please use these words in sentences so you get used to them. Okay. So we have 5. Tom's humility contrasts. It's in contrast. It is in opposite with his brother's dash. If you are not humble, because humility is about being humble. Don't forget. Okay. So if someone is not humble, what are they? Are they stubborn? No. So we get rid of stubbornness because this is not have this person chose this, it's wrong. Haughtiness. Well, haughty is actually an answer because someone who is haughty, you can consider them as being proud or too lofty or full of themselves. They look down on others, right? So this haughtiness is our answer here. C, quiet. Being humble does not mean you are quiet. Don't mistake that, okay? I may be humble, but I'm not quiet. Gentleness. Someone may be humble, but they are still not gentle, okay? Although gentleness may have to do with something, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Haughtiness is the word most opposite in meaning to humble, okay? Humility. 6, we have the life of man appears long, but in reality it is stunted. Stunted, no. Stunted deals with height of people normally. Okay, so we get rid of that. Shortened, no, it has not been shortened, although it may have to do. Quick, well, we don't describe life as being quick. We often have to describe life as being brief. So D is our answer, brief. Okay. 7, in the interest of peace, it is better to dialogue than to be confrontational is our answer here. Okay, because confrontation means opposing each other in hostility. Controversial may seem